Greetings, members one and all of the Salivation Nation. Silver is not just the poor man's gold. This is a very interesting article here that comes to us from the commentaries of kitco.com. And let's take a look here and see what it's talking about. Very interesting. It sees silver as a different light. And, you know, people think when they use the term poor man's gold, that's sort of a derogatory view on silver. But let's take a look at what this article says about it. And I'll give you my thoughts as we go through it as well. People say that silver is the poor man's gold. The first time the author, which is Lobo Tigre, heard this, he thought it was silly. Sure, silver is more abundant and cheaper per ounce than gold, but it's a very useful and valuable metal. It has different properties than gold, and they can be substituted in many uses. Nobody ever had a silver tooth. More important is that gold is so malleable, it is always possible to exchange smaller grains, coins, or other portions of gold for larger amounts of silver. People didn't pay with silver dollars because they couldn't afford $20 gold coins. They did it because a silver dollar was enough for most day-to-day expenses back then. Very true. In today's world of paper and digital ownership of precious metals, the expression makes even less sense. If I want to buy $20 worth of gold, it's no problem that the smallest common coin weighs 1/10 of an ounce and are worth over $130. I don't have to resort to buying silver. I can buy almost any fraction of an ounce of either metal I want. Well, and that's true, especially when it comes to digital gold, because most of the digital holdings of gold, you can spend up to, $1 for a very, very small portion of a gram, percentage of a gram. You're not limited by the standardized weights of the metal. But nonetheless, it's obvious, you know, if you want to actually obtain the physical, it's a much different story. Silver, the article continues, says, isn't the poor man's anything. It's a valuable commodity, an essential industrial metal, and a recognized monetary metal. Why does this matter? Because this unjustified perception of silver may cause people who should know better to miss out on the extra leverage silver often gives us over gold. Note that I didn't just say can give us, I said often gives us. It goes on. Last month, gold rose 3.46%, silver rose 3.94%. That's only about 14% better, but the point is that this pattern is a norm, not the exception when precious metals are rising. The last time precious metals were really on a tear, silver outperformed gold even more. From the bottom of the crash of 2008, London PM gold rose from $713.50 to $1,995 in September of 2011. Gold was up 165.6%. From the same starting point, London PM silver rose from $8.88 an ounce to $48.70 an ounce in April of 2011. Silver was up 448.4% and in less time. That's why I've said that if you are a gold bull, which I am this year, you should be a raging silver bull. And here's a report that he gives about it. He says, but whatever you do, if you're bullish on gold this year, make sure you have plenty of exposure to great silver plays in your portfolio. And that's what he's doing with his money. And it's an interesting point, for sure. He is right in that silver, you know, especially between the times when there were anomalies, and that's what I want to point out. This is where I disagree with the author on this, where there are anomalies in the price points for gold and silver. Especially the two times we can think of here is in 1980 and in 2011, that gold to silver ratio narrowed big time. But now I would venture to say that yes, when they do rise, they do tend to narrow that gold to silver ratio. But we are in an anomaly now with gold and silver prices when they are low as well. But by and large, I think the trend that we're seeing with the precious metals is that gold and silver are doing what they do, and they are the ratio is almost reaching to a new norm for sure. Right now, the precious metals are down in all aspects, and we can see that is the case. You look at these numbers here. Gold is down $6 or down 0.46%, and silver's down 13 cents or 0.82%. So you have the other side too. And the point is that silver is a more volatile metal because of the very reasons the author stated, because it has so many uses and it's seen as a commodity. It's a metal of duality. You know, it is money, and I do believe it is money, just as gold is money, and as they both have been money for millennia. But its role and its diversifications and use, especially now more than ever, make it a commodity. And the fact that there's a lot of it out there and it's being used so much in so many different ways, I think we're seeing the price point suffer a bit more, and especially considering that its use as a commodity, whereas gold is more treasured. And because of that, you can see less volatility in the metal. And then, to prove my point even further, platinum and palladium, look at those two metals. Look at the drop in the prices of those two metals there, because they are much more commodities than they are money. In fact, I would make an argument that probably platinum and palladium are not money, although there is an interesting story with platinum that I've shared. I'm going to do a separate video on that, with how it was attempted to be monetized back in 2013. But with that being said, you know, it's fascinating. You can see how the effects of a commodity have on these prices, but the metals that are more monetary in nature don't tend to move as much because they're stable. And gold is the safest. It is the ultimate safe haven. And silver is a safe haven too. However, I do disagree with the author of the piece about it, you know, having that real great potential. Now, there is a chance that obviously when the metals do rise, that there can be some panic. And I think the panic and the silver prices rising will not be because of what has happened before, even back in 2011, with regards to how it is viewed among, quote, investors out there. I do believe that its panic will be, and it's because of it's a commodity, just like any other commodity. But I think it will piggyback on those of us who do see it as money as well, and it will increase in price. And I do believe, though, we are seeing these lows here, the falling prices here today, that we are going to see them essentially start to climb up as the year progresses, especially after the Fed meets again. Because, you know, if the Fed meets again, and what they're saying is true from earlier meetings, is that they will not raise rates, interest rates, then I think we're going to see precious metals continue to climb and the dollar weaken some. But nonetheless, it is what it is, and we'll see where it goes. But, you know, I do agree with the author about the language of silver is the poor man's gold. I do believe that we should hold both gold and silver, and I believe that, you know, saving up for gold is a bit tougher because, you know, it takes a lot more money. But at the same time, if you're patient and you save, it can be done. And I'm trying to practice that as I have last year, and I'm going to try again this year to try to acquire a bit more gold. But, you know, me as a collector, it's tough because there's so many silver coins and pieces and bars and rounds out there that are just so cool to have as part of a collection. And so knowing that I'm always protected by the intrinsic value there of the metal, you know, it makes it tempting to make a purchase from time to time. I'm looking at pieces in my collection here right now that are just got sitting here that are just beautifully done. And so it's hard to resist in that case. With that being said, no matter what, as far as resistance is concerned, never spend money that you can't afford to spend on any material, whether it be gold or silver or otherwise. But nonetheless, I do think it's an exercise in discipline to save up for that gold, but also get silver as well. And there is a chance, because of the very nature of the metal, as in its volatility, that there is more upside potential with silver. I do believe that is the case. So take it for what it's worth. Post your thoughts below. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude, y'all, for watching, and encourage you to please rate, comment, and subscribe.